Okay, we are going to continue Chapter 4. We're going to be discussing criminal intent as it is related to corporations. Okay, this is important to this class because this is referencing, beginning the reference of business law. So while there is a ton of information that is very exciting and very interesting to discuss in the criminal law arena, we have to focus on the business law side of things. Okay, so one of the first things that we have to identify is whether or not a corporation can, in fact, commit a crime. A corporation, of course, is an organization. So can a corporation form criminal intent in a way to actually do something that is considered right or wrong, or wrong? What do you think? Can a corporation commit a crime? Yes. Okay. So corporations know right from wrong? If I walk into ING and I just start knocking on the wall, do you know if this is wrong? Is it going to tell me? Who is they? The corporation is a building. It's a physical foundation. It's a physical element. Who is running the corporation? That's the question. Who is in charge? You send your money to a bank. Do you assume that the bank is just a building that's holding your money? No. Who's making decisions in your bank? Okay, well, probably not the tellers, but yes, the CEOs, the executive officers of the corporation are making the decisions. Do those people know right from wrong, or should they? Should they be expected to know right from wrong? Yes. Can they form criminal intent? Absolutely. Okay, and therefore, can corporations form criminal intent in the way that humans can? Yes. Okay, especially since in 2004 court case, 2008 court case, Citizens United, the Supreme Court ruled that corporations are people. Corporations are people, and they can then, this has to do with campaign finance, which you guys don't necessarily care about, but you should. Corporations can give money to elected officials and to the election committees. And so corporations are considered people in the eyes of the court. Therefore, yes, in fact, they can form criminal intent. Okay? And when a corporate employee commits a crime, the corporation, okay, the officers of that corporation can be held criminally responsible. So Tyler is a teller in the bank, and he is doing something criminally inappropriate. Who should be held responsible in addition to Tyler? Who should be held responsible for Tyler's actions? His boss. Why? Yes, because Tyler's made the decision to do this, but it is also Tyler's boss who needs to be aware of what's going on in the industry, in the whatever, with his employees. Okay? Now, why is this significant? Because when we get into the realm of money, we are looking for a person or an organization, an institution that has what we call deep pockets. Okay? Have you ever heard the term that somebody has short arms and deep pockets? Have you ever heard that? Do you know what that means? If you have short arms and deep pockets, what can't you do? You can't get down to where your money is in your pocket. Okay? So if they say a person has short arms and deep pockets, it means they're always going, no, I got nothing for you, I can't contribute. Okay? We are looking for a person or an institution with deep pockets to pay out the money in terms of our criminal and our civil law when related to business. Yes. The Boston Market Undercover Boss? Yes?
So, you know how you said how they're supposed to keep an eye on what
His manager? Yes, his manager should have been held in some way responsible for that, and probably was. Okay. We are all just reflections of, for the same reason, you students, I get on your case because when you go out into the rest of the building and you are not wearing your uniform or you're giving lip back to the teachers when they're talking to you, they come to me. You are a reflection of me. And then I, in turn, am a reflection of my boss, Dr. Grimm, who is in turn a reflection of the people who she represents, which are the board of directors, okay, which then goes back, they're a reflection of the taxpayers, okay, so everyone is accountable to someone else. It's just the way it is. Okay, so the answer, yes, a corporation can form criminal intent if employees were doing assigned duties, the criminal act benefits the organization, then the organization would have the ability to be tried as having criminal intent. Same thing. Can they commit a crime? A corporate employee commits a crime, the officer will be held responsible because there is a doctrine, okay, or a law of vicarious criminal liability. What does the word vicarious mean? Vicarious. If I'm living vicariously through my children and their sporting activities, which this slide is depicting, how am I living vicariously through my children's sporting activities? Hold on, hold that thought. Okay, apologies. All right, so what does vicarious living, but living vicariously through my children's sporting activities, what am I talking about? Mm-hmm. The definition is on page 69 in your book. I'm sorry, 66 in your book, the definition is there. Okay. If I said, Kiara, tell me all about your date, I want to live vicariously through it because I haven't gone on a date in a really long time. Huh? I'm going to live vicariously through Tyler's eating a sundae, and I'm not allowed to have sweets, and I'm going to just watch him for my odd pleasure, okay, as a substitute, okay? So I'm going to substitute my want, my ice cream eating. I'm going to watch you, okay? I'm going to live vicariously through my kids' sporting activities because I can't play sports anymore. So I'm going to have my kids play them, and I'm going to get all excited on the sidelines and go crazy, okay? Because I'm not in it. I'm going to substitute my kids for myself and then live that way. Vicarious, um, it means substituted. So the criminal intent of the employee, okay, is used as a substitute for the requirement of criminal intent for the officer of the corporation. So although Tyler is the one making the criminal intent in our example here with the banking, okay, we're going to take Tyler's criminal intent and we're going to substitute that for the criminal intent of the corporation, especially when we're talking about the big corporations like the Wall Street bankers that made all those terrible decisions which collapsed our economy. Okay, um, so those bankers, their criminal intent is substituted under this doctrine of vicarious um, criminal vicarious criminal liability. All right. Okay, so criminal intent related to age. Okay, criminal intent as far as your mental ability to understand what right from wrong. In most states, we say the age begins at 18. We have ranges from 16 to 19. Some states are younger, some states are older. Okay, there are different rules in different states based on different statutes. Okay, state statute provides that minors as young as 7 can be tried and convicted, okay, and punished as adults if they are convicted of serious crimes like murder, like arson, violent crimes, okay? So children as young as 7. Why is that? So they're saying that children as young as 7, if they were to commit a crime like murder, they could be tried as an adult. What? Okay, because the idea is to at least investigate to make sure that if that child does have a sense of what they're doing and they are committing murders at the age of 7, okay, that we are not just going to say, that's okay, sweetie, just don't do it again. All right, we can't take that chance. So we are allowed to try and find out if that child is able to understand right from wrong and is still making these choices to do these things at this young age. We're going to deal with them as we would an adult in these same similar serious circumstances. Okay? Now, sometimes things, Jimmy gets into his dad's gun closet. He and his friend are playing around. Jimmy accidentally shoots his friend. Okay? Is that showing signs of criminal intent? No. Jimmy, as a child, as a 9-year-old, although he knows it's wrong to go into his father's gun closet, he likely did not know the outcome or the results would be quite as drastic. Even if he knew that guns could potentially kill someone, he probably did not intend for this, to be the outcome. All right. So, but in the case of Jimmy took his dad's gun, he hid in, somebody's backyard, and he waited for them to come out and let their dog out, and then he shot them in cold blood, and he's 9 years old. That's a different story. Okay, and we need to find out what's going on with Jimmy. Okay. Juvenile delinquency. We have an alternative method, I spelled that incorrectly, of holding children accountable for criminal acts. Kids do, I spelled that wrong too. Kids do bad things. I know this is shocking to you, but kids do things, they break laws, they do things that are morally incorrect and legally incorrect. And so we have a different system of accountability for this. Okay. That is our juvenile delinquency. Then we have mental capacity. So the lack of mental capacity, okay, someone not knowing the difference between right and wrong. This can be a defense for criminal acts. Okay, we can call this the insanity defense. If a person is unable to make the connection between what they did and whether it was right or wrong, okay, due as a reason of mental defect. Yes, sir.
How would the court handle this if maybe it's their belief like that?
No. Insanity defense is incredibly difficult to prove. And right now we have a high-profile case of insanity defense. The man who did the Colorado shootings, okay, the movie theater shootings, he dressed like Batman. Do you remember this? The character from Batman. They're using the insanity defense for this guy. Okay? It is a very difficult defense to prove. Yes? Yes, there needs to be a history of mental illness. There needs to be, and then beyond that, there needs to be an indication that this person, because the insanity defense, and we'll talk a little bit about defenses later, but we're not going to get entirely into it, but there are two kinds of mental capacity defenses. One is where they are remanded to some kind of mental custody, mental institution where they are rehabilitated, and at that point where they are considered to be no longer a danger to themselves or society, they are released, okay, with insanity defense. If they are found to be guilty by reason of mental defect, they are remanded to some kind of mental institution until the time when they are found to be no longer a danger to themselves or others, and then they go and serve the rest of their term in jail. Okay? So the difference is here in insanity defense, they're walking out the door free. Over here, they're still going to serve their term. Okay? They're going to pay back their time to society, either in a mental institution or in a prison. Okay? So that's the difference there. But we'll talk about that later. All right. Intoxicated in capacity. Is this a defense? Okay. Is it a defense to be intoxicated and then commit a crime? Okay. Why? Yes. Yes. Voluntary intoxication. Voluntary consumption of drugs or alcohol or medications. Okay. Any kind of over-the-counter medication that you are ingesting that leads to a different, mental ability, mental capacity. That is your voluntary choice. Therefore, the actions that you do are your responsibility. Yes, sir.
What if you know how like some people get other people drunk, like they like say say you give them they say you want some water and they ask you for water or whatever, and then they drink it and knowing that they're drunk, they persuade them to do something criminal.
Okay, that would not be voluntary intoxication. If the person has been drugged in any way, whether it's rohypnol, okay, which is something you slip in a drink, or it's been, or they were led to believe that they were drinking water and it was actually something else. They've been drugged, that is a different situation. But voluntary intoxication, never a defense. Okay, this is a case I want you to, I don't know if this link will work. I want us to read. I saw this case in court. I took my students to this court case. The defendant, Kevin Eckenrode, was at the time 25-year-old. Okay, he was a state employee. He and his girlfriend had been drinking in the hours before he allegedly dropped her from a 23rd story apartment window, killing her. Okay, he was dangling her out of the apartment window on Saturday night and lost his grip on her arms, and she fell, dressed only in underwear and a sweater, fell through a skylight onto the portico of and the pavement of the front of the building, and died of massive head and internal injuries. In the court case, it was revealed that her blood alcohol level was so high she would have been in a comatose state. Now, they also submitted testimony, okay, text messages and voicemail messages that she was sending in the moments before this happened. She sent a text message that said, "Watch this," to the person that lived below her. She wanted them to see her feet. So she was in a state where she was at least um, indicating that she was aware of what was going on. But both of them were intoxicated to the point his blood alcohol, I believe, was I can't even remember. But anyway, it was off the charts. Okay, so even if the version that he is told, okay, the scenario is very unusual, but to hold someone out a 23rd story window, it's obviously extremely dangerous, even in a sober state. Okay, so if nothing else, it was incredibly reckless. Yes, ma'am.
And this girl was holding a sign, and she was apparently raped, but they said that it was her fault because she had like minimal alcohol in her blood. I don't think that really like acknowledges anything that he
Yeah.
at all.
Um, No, that would be. Um, it's a sad commentary, I guess. That would be considered maybe a date rape, and that sadly is very difficult to prove because you have to prove that it was non-consensual sex. Okay, and that is a difficult thing to prove um, because the person, both parties are called into question and what they were wearing, where they were, how they were behaving, all of that. Okay, so um, anyway, back to this. This is our example here of intoxication, never a defense. Okay. All right. Felony versus misdemeanor. We're near the home stretch here. Okay. A felony. A felony is a crime that is punishable by more than a year of imprisonment in a state prison and more than $1,000 fine, or both, or death. Okay, felony case is a very serious offense. Yes, sir. False. Okay, if you are subject to the death penalty, if it is a death penalty case and you are in a state which allows the death penalty, which Texas and I don't know the numbers, but Texas is definitely one of them. There are some states that still do. Okay, if you are in a death penalty case, you can be put to death for your crimes. Now they are using only lethal injection. Okay. Um, some examples of felony cases: murder, kidnapping, arson, rape, robbery, burglary, embezzlement, forgery, grand theft, and perjury. Perjury is lying on the stand, lying on the witness stand. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they do. Yes. Yes. I maybe that's a weird question. I don't know. Yes, sir. Embezzlement, you're going to learn about in a little bit here. Okay. Um, these are the crimes you guys are going to be identifying. Okay. Now, would you be put to death for lying on the stand? No. Okay. Would you be put to death for stealing? No. Okay. But once we get into the more violent crimes, that's when it comes in. Okay. A misdemeanor is a less serious crime. It is punishable by confinement up to 1 year in a or less in a county jail. Okay, fines up to $1,000 or both. Again, where does the money go? To the government, not to the person who was wronged. Okay, examples here: disorderly conduct, speeding. Anytime you are stopped by the police, that is considered a misdemeanor. Yes.
You say money gonna go to the person that lost it.
Correct.
My house was robbed last year.
You may get your money back. Yes.
We're getting the money back
Yes.
from the person.
That's different. But the fines that they would have to pay, like the court costs, the fines and all of that, that does not go back to you. You just get back your property. If you then take them to civil court, that would be a different story. Yeah. But you would not, they would not give you, if they were fined. For example, I think a DUI case, I believe it's like a $500 fine for a DUI case. You wouldn't get, yeah, you wouldn't get that money. Okay. All right, here's what you're going to do, 10th graders. You are going to choose one of the following crimes. Read about it on page 68 to 70, and you are going to become the expert in this crime. Here are your options: larceny, receiving stolen property. Yes, that is a crime. False pretenses, forgery, bribery, extortion, conspiracy, and arson. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of you. 5 of you. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 7 crimes. So you all have to pick a different crime. Doesn't matter to me which one you choose. Choose one. You are going to expand your research to the open internet to find more information and create a one-page poster which will give us examples and explanations. You are the expert for this crime. Okay? If I know. Okay, we'll have Monday to do this. Um, in the next 5 minutes, I'd like you to choose your crime. Tell me about it. Just tell me so I can write it down, and then we will continue this on Monday.